Hey everyone, how's it going? I'm Jules Leyhe. In today's video, I'm going to talk about a comment that I got yesterday on a video of mine. This comment was inspiring to me. This is from Gus8378. Gus says, one of my goals with slide guitar is being able to imitate or transcribe vocals from songs on it. I have a playlist full of songs for when I'm good at it, LOL. Gus, this is inspiring. Thanks for leaving this comment. Playing like a vocalist and thinking about vocals with slide guitar is something that happens all the time. We talk about it, I talk about it. We talk about guys like Derek Trucks emulating Aretha Franklin, that sort of thing. So I'm going to actually go through, I have a handful of songs that are vocal songs, and I'm going to teach you some licks from them or just kind of like show you my approach for getting this song that was originally sung by a vocalist played on our slide guitar, okay? So the first thing I'm going to show you is Something's Got a Hold on Me. This is Etta James, and this is a really cool vocal line. This is sampled quite a bit, so you probably have heard this line in a bunch of other songs. But the original is by Etta James, and it's in D flat. So this is kind of starting at the 9th fret. And I'm choosing these songs specifically in this video because they're in different keys and they kind of accomplish different things. So the first one, Something's Got a Hold on Me. Check this out. This is D flat, and I'll just play it and then I'll talk about some of the sort of vocal qualities that are going on or ways that we can make it, kind of sound a little bit vocal on the slide guitar. So here's the Something's Got a Hold on Me main melody. So here's that same exact thing. I'm going to play it in just a slightly different way, get that vocal sound in there by traveling across the strings a little bit more. Here we go. So, in the key of D flat, there's a very cool thing that I'm taking advantage of here, which is that we have our A flat tuned string, the 3rd string, G sharp, however you want to think of it. But in this case, we're in D flat, so D flat would be here at the 5th fret. So we have this great blues phrase just sitting right there. You can go 5, flat 7, 1. That last lick I just played is entirely on the 3rd string, right? Starting at the 12th fret, that's the 5th. This is kind of one of those open E tuning little Easter egg gifts. Once you've played in the tuning quite a bit, you see these things like, oh wow, D flat might not obviously be a great open string tuning or open string key, pardon me, when you think of open E, but because of this G sharp alone, that's all super visual and just a really nice way of getting, that sounds a lot to me like a blues singer or gospel singer, right? Once more, this is just playing in D flat, but just on the 3rd string. And just with that, I'm just playing pentatonic, right? So right there, I'm kind of deviating from the actual melody because the melody inspired this deviation, right? This is what I want you to be able to do, is kind of get lost when you're learning a song like this and go, oh, wow, cool. I can do this, that, and the other. So melody-wise, again, it starts on the 5th. And sliding up to the 5th, honestly, just how you approach that very first note, I think if you approach that correctly and you don't just go, right, that's not very vocal at all. I've said this a bunch, but our vocals, we don't have frets. We don't have these little specific spots. We have this range, and that's what we get with the slide guitar too. So you can even make this sound more vocal just by sliding into that first note. Now that does not mean this, right? This is an interesting thing that we get with the slide. The speed with which you slide into a note or out of a note matters quite a bit. We don't want this, it's almost like this foghorn, like kind of ridiculous if it's too slow, right? So when I say slide into the 9th fret here, you can really slide in from just about the 7th fret. It almost doesn't have to be any specific fret that you're sliding from. It's just that we need this sort of, you need to present the note to us using the slide. That's the best way I could think of it, like this. So I'm sliding 5, 4, flat 3, and I'm kind of doing the bluesy, flat 3 up to 3, all on the B string. And then ending that on the 5th fret of the 3rd string, our root. So that's probably my favorite way of playing this initial melody, is actually sliding down the B string. And then once we're at the flat 7 here, which is 3rd fret of the 3rd string, now we're going to transfer over to the 4th string. And this is okay, we are playing guitar, so we are going to have to change strings. As much as maybe we stay on one string to get that vocal sound, we can change strings. And right here we need to because of the range of the melody. So we're at this point, we have... Now that last, the thing that I did to end it, right? We're on the root, but then we kind of slide up into that flat 3rd, major 3rd, little blues. It's kind of like half of one, half of the other. That really sounds bluesy, especially with some reverb. You could hear the note sort of tail off, and that is like gospel blues singing 101 right there. Then I came up here to the 12th fret, and I'm starting, this is a cool little, we're pivoting from the flat 7 to the 5. And we're going, this is on the B string and the G sharp string, the 2nd and 3rd string, and we're going... So now, I love this, by the way. That's so fun to play. This is a great thing to work on, just this intro that I'm showing you. After you slide up here, and this is a very cool, we're really in this like harmonica lick. This is sort of like... Right, it's that sort of like... That's sort of where this is coming from to me. But that's the melody she's singing. I got a feeling that I know it. Right? Thank you. I won't sing that much. Sorry about that. But anyway, here we go. Back at the 12th fret. Ending this lick with that open string is kind of cool. See how I did basically the same thing, but it was ever so slightly differently just because of how I slid into that 3rd or back down to the 7. I'm trying to show you these licks a handful of times so you can see, oh, okay, right. There's not just one way of playing them, but I have a few options. And while you might not have a few options right this second, or it might not feel like that to you, this sort of experimenting, playing across the strings, playing in position this way, like at the 9th fret, that's sort of what I mean by in position. There are different sounds we get, and none of them are better than other sounds. There's not one that's the very best, and the others should be avoided, but just figuring out how to get across the neck, getting rid of these empty zones where you feel like you don't have anything to say. That's one of the goals of this sort of exercise. So, okay, there's Something's Got a Hold on Me. Now, here's another one that's actually really cool. I have a video of this on my channel from a few years ago, but the melody from the song Royals by Lorde. So this is in the key of D now. So up 1/2 step to the 10th fret. And here's another good one for just playing across one string. So in the key of D, the melody starts on the A, which is at the 5th fret. And I'm really going to keep this on one string as much as possible. I like to sort of zhuzh this with a volume pedal usually. I'm not using one right now, but the volume pedal is a really good thing to use to just make your notes more expressive. You can really step into your notes when you're trying to sort of exclaim a note. There's another video on that coming down the pipeline for sure. I get asked about the volume pedal quite a bit, but I'm not using a volume pedal now. And here is the melody for Royals. So this is cool. It's pretty, note-wise, it's not super interesting. There aren't a ton of notes going on, which I really like as far as practicing your vocal quality of slide guitar playing. I want to play like a bluesy, pentatonic, kind of easy to wrap my head and ears around thing to get good at this sort of sound. So to me, Royals does all of that. And like I said, it's pretty simple. We're just sliding up from the 5th to the root, so 5th fret to 10th. And I'm staying on that string. I'm not going like this. That's not wrong, like I said, but I'm trying to get that vocal thing, so I'm going. And even like that little end of the phrase, from the G up to the A, that's a good time to sort of exercise the slide and make it sound a little vocal, right? It's a fast move. A lot of these things with slide end up being about the speed with which you articulate the thing you're doing. So in this case, if I go like this, that's not what we're going for. It's this. Right? It's fast. And in order to actually get that, there's no shortcut. You have to move your slide fast for that movement, right? You don't have to move it that far necessarily. You could go like this. You could move it just a little bit less distance-wise. Even that, it wasn't even the 4th fret. It was like just a little bit past. But this is where a lot of the inflection that we really kind of crave from slide playing comes from. Fast movements with the slide. Then for the chorus, it's cool. A lot of it's just building off of the triad. So all you do is build up from the bottom and you go. So you can see it's very based out of the position here. And I kind of wanted to play that for a second, like figure it out live in front of you guys. This is how I work on all this stuff. I mean, I've played Royals before. I'm not figuring it out right here in front of you, but what I'm saying is just that sort of when I'm coming down. I love that too. I'm incorporating a little bit of fretting behind the slide just so that I don't have to go. I can go like this. You know, that's where taking the whole vocal thing, but then remembering that we are playing slide guitar at the same time. Kind of cool to like borrow from your guitar playing self to while you're playing these vocal lines, right? So anyway, that's some of Royals. That's a really cool tune. It's D, C, and G. It's like about as rock and roll as it gets. 3-chord tune, and actually a really interesting melody in there to play. So here's one more song as far as this vocal thing is concerned. And, the cool thing about this video is that you can do this with any song. I've done this with so many songs. There's not a best style. There's not one artist who's better to work on or learn from than others. This is how you get good at slide guitar. Learn songs that you know and that you're singing already. Play those on slide guitar like this. So another one is Adele. And this is Somebody Like You. This is a song that was popular quite a while ago. Well, I don't know, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, something like that. And I'm really specifically picking this song because there aren't that many notes. There's a popular song. It's really accessible. It's not necessarily like a Mariah Carey runs all over the place type of thing. They aren't like long runs going on. It's more of like powerful notes that she's really belting out. So this is in F sharp minor. And check this out. This is like basically the chorus. And just want to get into this. There's a lot to unpack with this one. So here is just some of the Adele Somebody Like You vocal line. So it's that main line, right? And hitting this with power and, really digging in. It's not about playing a ton of notes. So one thing that we get here is I'm sliding basically, I kind of like to play something like this as much as I can on the B string. So the second string. The first string's fine, but the second string has a little more meat. It's simply thicker than the first string. So if I'm going to go, I kind of want to do that on the B string, right? That's where I don't know. For me personally, anyway, I like doing these runs on the B string as much as I can. And I wanted to just play that for a sec. This is, like I said, when I was playing that last Lord track, just watching me sort of navigate this for a sec and experiment, dig in and try to get that vocal sound. That's what this is all about. And that's what I encourage you to do with any track of, that you like. The whole thing that inspired this video was somebody saying, I have a whole list of songs and when I'm feeling good on the slide, I like to play, and I can kind of cop what those singers are doing. This is how you do this. This is how you get the slide sound in your, or pardon me, this is how you get the vocal sound in your own slide playing. Just taking any song, doesn't have to be a bluesy thing, doesn't have to originally have slide in it, of course, but just kind of want to open everybody's mind up to the fact that you can do this with absolutely anything. So also, I'd recommend that you try to learn, maybe you want to learn that whole Adele song. The chorus is right there. It's only a handful of notes. It's more about playing them the right way. You really have to, you can't do this. I wouldn't do this anyway. That's not quite it. It's got to have a little bit more action in between the notes, getting from one note to the next. Man, did you hear that little harmonic that I got when I was really digging in, and I got this cool, there was a lot of character in that note at that one point. That was unintentional, but that was a cool little consequence of playing in this way where I'm really digging into the notes. I've talked about this in other videos. The harmonics were like, they were really happening there. So we got this cool little harmonic activity that, although unintentional right there, it's part of what happens when you have your tone dialed in and you really start digging into the notes. So that was a really cool example right there, just at the very end where, if you have all these techniques together, you'll get these happy little accidents. And people will ask me about, how do you do things like that? You just saw it live in action. It's from the right tone. It's from, my hands really digging in, and I just kind of went for it, and boom, there you go. That little harmonic thing happened. All right, thanks so much for checking out today's video. I'll see you in the next one. If you have not already subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do so. We're putting videos like this out all the time. I'll see you in the next one.